GoetiaTV. I'm here tonight with Nero Order from San Francisco. Let's get to know you guys.
I'm Alex Lindo.
Matt Harper.
Ross Hoyt.
Matt Butler.
What kind of music would you say Nero Order is labeled as?
We're calling it progressive doom or avant metal.
It's certainly steeped in a tradition of metal, but we kind of feel as if we break away from some of the more traditional trappings of that. It's kind of progressive rock, but it's very severe and abrasive at the same time.
So the name of your guys' band, Nero Order, where did that come from?
The direct origin is Emperor Nero and the order to burn Rome. I'm greatly fascinated by the image of a mad emperor fiddling or singing from a tower as an empire burns, and I feel that that is representative of the time we're in as well.
Did any of you have any previous bands before Nero Order?
I played in a band that just did a little bit of local shows at the time. It was called Habakkuk. It was kind of experimental noise rock, sort of listening to a lot of Slayer, Swans, and Keiji Haino when it was made, and came out something fairly interesting in retrospect, but I feel that this has evolved far beyond that.
My most notable act prior to Nero Order was a band called Feast of Herod from the Midwest. We dissolved in 2005, started in 1999, did a pretty good fair deal of touring, 2 releases, and it was a really dark, negative grindcore band.
Yeah, I've been in a few bands in the Bay Area. Before I joined Nero Order, the reason I found these guys was actually because a band named Dead Thousand Bulls that I played in had collapsed, and out of that, I actually found these guys. And then, of course, previous to living in the Bay Area, lived in Sacramento, played in the local scene for a long time, Condition, the noise scene, experimental scene, all the way back. Quite a few years ago, I played in the Beat Officers, so I guess I've been around the block a couple times.
Yeah, up until about, I've been in this band for almost 3 years, right around 3 years, but up until about 7 months ago, I was in another band called Skin Horse, which was kind of a more psychedelic, I guess, doom band in a way. Before that, I was in a alternative country band called El Capitan, and then like a punk hardcore, a post-hardcore band before that called The Hills Have Eyes for a few years.
So what is the Tower?
The Tower is one of the trump cards in the tarot deck, which deals most explicitly out of any of the cards with blind destruction. If you were going to build a new building, you would first need to destroy what was in it, what was there before. And so if you went there and looked at, this huge rubble on the ground, you might say that that is destructive, and you'd be correct, but it's only part of the picture. Much like the name Nero Order, if you take a look around you right now, just everything that's in the news, everything that's in the atmosphere, I feel that that's simply speaking a truth of the state the world is in. Things are falling down, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's also interesting when you look at the album being called The Tower. There's the allusion to the Tower of Babel, which was something that was created in man's attempt to reach the heavens. I think there's that's not a weak metaphor in terms of what we, not only as a band but as people, as a greater part of the human race, aspire to do with art.
about you guys online? Do you have a website or?
You can find us on NeroOrder.com. Of course, we're on all the great social networks, MySpace, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Have YouTube videos up. We continually try to reach out to our audience and, share bands and excerpts and I guess stories and content, if you will, just to kind of bridge that gap and show that, we're not just some dumbass band sitting around trying to slang a CD, but we legitimately want to reach people that listen to music and enjoy music. This is really music for music listeners, and that point's really going to be held strong at NeroOrder.com.
We definitely try to point people to our website as opposed to your iTunes, your Amazon. We're in those places out of necessity because that's what the kind of what the musical landscape dictates at this point in time. It doesn't match our aesthetic. I think if we had more viable outlets besides something that Steve fucking Jobs owns or Jeff Bezos, we would certainly be exploiting those. What's important to us is that the final product that lands in people's hands or on their iPods, as unfortunate as that latter may be, is as true to our original vision as possible. I mean, we record all of our music live to tape like they did in the 60s. We don't even use digital recording methods at all. Our album was recorded like it was made in 1965, and we're trying to preserve that as much as we possibly can, and Steve Jobs doesn't necessarily allow you to do that on www.itunes.com. So go to our website and get the flax, please. Listen to it the way it was supposed to be listened to.
And listen to the full album. It's we wrote a piece of music in 4 parts. It's not almost. It's absolutely conceptual. It's and on top of that, just there was not a single computer in the studio we recorded, not one. So all the mixing 18-minute long songs by hand. It was
So awesome.
Cutting tape with razor blades in order to make an edit.
Wow.
And see. We've been doing this thing for 5 years almost, and there's a reason you're only hearing about us now. It's because we took the time to write the songs and learn how to play them before we record them, and make sure that we have the best mix that we possibly can before we master it, and make sure that master didn't deviate from our original vision before we released it. And we're doing it all ourselves because, well, nobody's ever going to prioritize you higher than you'll prioritize yourself, and frankly, we don't want anybody fucking with our art if we can keep from it. So it's been a long road, but we're definitely here, and we're pushing it hard now. And for God's sake, if you're into the band, go to the website and stay away from iTunes, man. Fuck that service.
Well, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're here with Nero Order with GoetiaTV, and thanks for watching.